Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. So I want to do a week in review, portfolio review again of my about 5,000 per month dividend portfolio. So I made some buys this week. Actually bought into MSTY, and it's up pretty good. So the timing looked pretty good on it. So we'll discuss all that. We'll review the monthly dividends, the annual dividends. I'll show you the buys in the portfolio and the options as well. And I also want to take a moment to thank all of you all that follow me. You guys are guys and girls, of course. You are what makes this channel great. And we hit 5,000 today, finally. So I really appreciate you all for your support. And we're just getting started. We're not quite 3 years in, but we're just getting started. We've got a long way to go. So anyway, let's dive in. Let's get to the excitement here. Okay, so this one. So we are up over 200 in this one. Had a really good day today as far as the market. We had a down day yesterday, but we bounced back quite nicely today. And let's see. Let me go ahead and jump right into the income part of the portfolio because that's really what we care about, right? I feel like a lot of us dividend investors, we kind of ignore what the portfolio is actually worth and just sort of pay attention to the cash flow. I guess like a house, the price of the house can fluctuate, but as long as it's paying the cash flow, right? Okay, so it kind of corrected itself since the dividends were paid out this week. We're back up to projected 57,835 per year. This month we've hit 4,327. Next month, though, we're projected to hit 5,500. So that's like over a 10% increase in the dividends over where we've been. If we look, for some reason, last month was low. The month before was 4,500. Our best month so far was 4724.91. So almost $5,000. Um, so from here to here, within like just over 6 months, that's what is that, like a 15% increase? So with 55 over 5,500, and we started out at like say 4750. So that's like a 16% increase if we round up. So we're over the half point of the year, officially over the halfway point of the year. We've received 30,000 in dividends. We've received a whole $9.90 in interest. This is why I say don't keep your money in cash, by the way, because this $9.90 for what we have in this account is low, obviously. But this is pretty good for over halfway point of the year here, and we've still got another 27,760. Now, as far as what I actually do with my dividends, I don't like take these to spend as spending money. I work and stuff, so I generate plenty of other income through working, but this is there if I needed it. I've actually been reinvesting this money into growth stocks, which is my new strategy. I call it the coach's wheel strategy. So I take the money I get in dividends and I reinvest into like Nvidia, Chipotle, and I'll show you everything I bought this week. I actually bought into some Sprouts and a couple other companies. But anyway, so here is this. Keep in mind, this is two accounts. This is the individual brokerage and the Roth. The Roth, of course, I can't touch because that's in the Roth until I'm like 59 and a half. But the individual brokerage account, if I needed to get my hands on it, I absolutely could. As far as dividend paying assets, we've got some stocks that pay a little bit like Dollar General. We've got Intel. We've got JP Morgan. And here's a new one that I just bought this week that actually does pay a dividend. I would call it a growth stock, but it does pay a dividend. MFC, Manulife Financial, another $125 added to the dividend portfolio. And look at this, Nvidia. Don't call it a comeback, but Nvidia was projected to pay $4 in dividends. Now it's projected to pay $5 in dividends. That's like a 25% increase in dividend yield. I could do a video just on that. 25% increase in dividend yield for Nvidia. It outpaced the performance of the stock for the week. Here's Starbucks. I got some more Starbucks, so I'm up to 114. So I'm actually pairing up the dividend growth portion of the portfolio in these what I call dividend growth stocks. And how about this? I have a whole share now of SMCI, and it went up quite nicely today as well. AT&T pays 633. And then the big part of the portfolio, the big dividend chunk of the portfolio, of course, Beto, Coney, Coney's paying almost 7,000 for the year. FEPI, JEPI, CLIP. Check this one out. New edition, MSTY. MSTY is the newest addition to the coach's portfolio. 2,400. That's another $200 a month. Perfect. I can pay my HOA. I can at least pay one bill with it, or maybe my gas. No, I think I spend more than that. QQQX, QQQY, Defiance. Don't know why I'm in these, honestly. QYLD, it's a low one, comparatively speaking. SQY, TNA, Tesla is still the biggest portion, and it's starting to come back a little. So that's 43,000. Ulti. Now think about this. So the dividend yield has stayed the same, but that's on half of the shares. So a year ago at this time, because I haven't bought any Tesla since like Q3 last year. So yeah, it's been almost a year. Because I was dollar cost averaging, but it just kept dropping. So I sort of pulled the plug, and then I bought Tesla stock, which Tesla stock is in the green for me. So Tesla, at one point, I feel like I had 6,200 shares and change. So this dividend yield a year ago, it was like $1 a share, and it was on double the shares. So instead of this like 3,000 a month, it was like 6,000 a month just on this. So if we get back and the dividend yield, stays the same or goes up, this could be higher actually. And then we've got Alti, we've got YMAG to round it out. And then I have a beautiful options gain in Apple. It fluctuated a little bit yesterday, but it came back today. It's 7,800. We had a little volatility that I think squeezed out. I think this was worth over 8,000 a couple days ago, but it's 7,800. I'll have to look into what I'm going to do with it. I've got High Tie and then MSOS, of course. And I had a big chunk of cash sitting in the portfolio because of my JP Morgan stock that I got called out of, actually the day that we rang the bell on the exchange. But I deployed probably about 20 of that into other stocks. So my buys for this week, I think I told you all already, but I bought into MSTY. I bought some Starbucks. Oh, here we go right here. Sprouts. I bought 50 shares of Sprouts. I bought one share of SMCI, and I think I'm up like $70 in it. And then what else did I buy? Oh, I bought some more Chipotle. Chipotle keeps dropping too. So I'm up to 300 shares of Chipotle. This has become a big holding now. If I actually sort out the biggest holdings of the portfolio, as far as the stock portion, see, I got some growth stocks here, even though I call this my dividend portfolio. So Chipotle and Nvidia have become my two biggest holdings in the stock portion. And look at this, I bought some more High Tie as well. I'm up over 10,000 in High Tie. JP Morgan was my biggest holding until I got called out of 200 shares. But I used that money to buy into these other ones. Sprouts is one that I see sprouting up as a decent investment opportunity. Starbucks, Manulife, got Palantir. And then as far as, this is going to be a little embarrassing, but Tesla is like my biggest holding of the portfolio. So I've been holding the bag on that one. But hey, if it comes back, it will be looking good for sure. As far as Tesla stock, I have 16 shares of it. So that is that. Okay, let's look at some comments real quick here. Let's see what we've got. We've got Blake on. Coach, that's a reasonable way to staircase wealth. Spend your dividends on growth. And when you eventually sell the growth, use the proceeds to buy more dividends. I agree. I call it Coach's Wheel for now. Rinse and repeat. Who is this? Golden Stone Financial Services with a picture of Bugs Bunny. Uh-oh, we have an AMSI mention in the house. I got rid of my Defiance funds. You're such a defiant person. I have AMSI as my core. I also have NVDY, MSTY, and QDTE. So I thought about buying, and by the way, Blake agrees with me on this. Roundhill, we both think this is like the best strategy. So I cover Roundhill once a week. I'm not going to mention it in this video. This is more of a like yield max video. But Roundhill is doing great. The shares of both of those are in the black, and they've paid out all the dividends that they've paid. So that strategy seems to be working the best. But anyway, so you said you got rid of Defiance. You have AMSI as your core, NVDY, MSTY. I was going to buy into some NVDY, but it looked a little high. It keeps going up because obviously the underlying keeps going up. Glad to see you finally bought NVIDIA, so now you don't have to feel left behind every time it hits all new. Well, I finally just bit the bullet. I paid like over $1,000 a share. I could have owned it at like 300, but I owned it at 1,000 before because I knew the split was going to make it take off. I just knew it. The eight ball didn't have to tell me. I just knew. And it did. I think I'm up like 20% in the shares. We got hi everyone from this person. Gen Z investing. That has to be a channel name. Are you a channel as well? I like the strategy. What do you think of the declines in the Mag 7 the past few days? Are you eyeing any? Oh, we can take a look. Um, Honestly, I think that they're all going to keep going up. If I could go back a year or two, I would have scooped them all up at the price they were like 2 years ago. Let's see. Gen Z just watched your video. What's your channel? Do you want to come on for a collab or come on the podcast, by the way? I got to be careful. This is how things went south with another channel. Some joke, like our in our whole history, like some joke got misinterpreted um, about subscriber count or something, and now the channel's ahead of me. So let's see. I'm still waiting for them to prove themselves before I would consider investing into them. But XTG and QDT are both attractive. I'm still looking too. I personally would rather buy growth, and I'm going to do like a 401k review, by the way, too, because a certain someone on here claimed that his dividend portfolio would beat mine, and we absolutely have to take that claim apart. So I'll be doing that at some point because I can assure you all I'm beating that account by far. So I'll do like a spreadsheet of like my total return. I don't know if I actually want to show everything because growth, like I say, I'm majority growth investor, but the algorithm sort of forces me to stick to these dividends. Anyway, let's do a Mag 7 review real quick. Remind me. Let me see. I think I know them all, but when we're live here, it's let's see here. Oh, I've got Fiat. How did Fiat do today, by the way? It's not the car company. It's the new Yield Max fund. Okay, let's do this. Charting. Let's look up. I know Meta. Let's dump this one. Let's dump this one. Apple, right? Nvidia. I might add some extras. Netflix. Microsoft. Amazon. It was FANG before. That was Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and Google. Google is one. Let's see. Okay, we have 7. So I think that's the 7. Okay, so how are we doing? They all look great, honestly, especially Nvidia, Google. These are all great. Imagine just owning all these for the last year. For year to date, we obviously have a clear front runner. We have Nvidia. So for the year, Meta is up 41%. Apple is the laggard, but it's starting to come back. So that call option or the 8 contracts I have in Apple are doing really well. Nvidia, 161%. NFLX, 33%. Netflix, I mean. Microsoft, 20%. Amazon, 28%. Google, 32% over the past year. So Apple, like I said, they've been a laggard. So you were asking me what's the best play. Just my thought is Apple because it's lagged behind the peer group, so to speak. I think eventually all of these will get back. If they haven't already, they'll all at least get back to their 2021 highs, if not surpass them. So yeah, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, like they've all had an incredible last couple of years. If we look at 3 years, 3 years includes part of 2021 still. So there's Meta, Apple, decent returns, but look at Nvidia, 530%. Sign me up for that. Well, I did, but I signed up late. Microsoft 63. So we have a clear winner there, and Amazon's actually flat over the time. And they split. Amazon had a split over this time frame too. If we go back 5 years, let's do that just for fun. So that would have been 2019. That would have been the summer of 2019. Where were we then? Those were the days, right? 143% in Meta, 353% in Apple. God, if we just turn back the clocks, take all our cash, reinvest in all of these. You know what's funny? The same thing that was true in 2018 is still true today. When they called it the FANG stocks, that was like the majority of the market gains. So now we're saying the same thing again. Maybe I should just honestly, maybe I should just take all my money today and just invest in all of these. Do you think 5 years from now will be saying the same thing. NVIDIA 3,000%, Netflix 73%, Microsoft 226%, Amazon 93%, Google 226%. Look at that. Two of them, Microsoft and Google, have almost an identical return. That is phenomenal, folks. I wish we could do, is there a way to add like growth of $10,000 in this? I know I can do it on another site, but I think I've gone overtime here on this one. Let's see what we've got here. Gold and stone. I know NVDY is still expensive. I'll make a point to buy it. I'm a bit fan of the company. Well, I'm not just a bit of a fan, I am a fan and a massive gamer. In the little free time I get, I like that. I want to get back into gaming myself. Ah, yes, the magnificent 5.5. All right, you all. Thanks for tuning in. Like, comment, and subscribe, and join Discord. Doesn't have to be in that order. Just make sure you do them all. Thank you all for 5,000 subs. Maybe we can hit 10,000 by the end of the year. Who knows? All right, you all. Thanks. Take care. Bye.